amazing friends, Iceman and Firestar.
What's going on with everybody out there in online and YouTube? Castro's back again. Castro Sakio's back with another review. I'm winding down the Spider-Man line. I got maybe 2 more figures: Electro, Craven, and Shocker. So I've got 3 figures more to go down this line, which I do not have in my possession, but I will hopefully by the end of this year. Again, like I said, I'm winding down to the last Spider-Mans in my collection. And of course, I wanted to do Spidey's favorite, his love interest, Mary Jane. Now, Mary Jane Watson is, I think, the only civilian in the Marvel Universe. Correct me if I'm wrong, put it in the comments, but I think she's the only civilian, non-superhero, just kind of like a standby. Not even Stan Lee got a figure. You figured Stan Lee, Mr. Marvel himself, would get a figure. Mary Jane Watson got one. And she's part of the Fans' Choice winner. She was picked, I guess this was back in 2010. Figures that they wanted to be released, and I guess the fans of Marvel.com had to vote. I think it was her, Winter Soldier, long hair and short hair, the Constrictor. It was Mystique. It was also the Archangel, which ended up getting two variants. Fans' Choice was the one for the Marvel Digital Comic subscription, which is the X-Force version. The regular Archangel, we know, the purple blue one looking, and then there was the Death Mask with the retractable wings. So those were. Oh, Luke Cage was also one, and I want to say Black Widow, but I could be wrong. I'll have to take a look at my collection to see which ones were the Fans' Choice. But whatever the case was, I think Norman Osborn was one of the runner-ups. And Norman Osborn, eventually, he ended up getting a variant head with the Iron Patriot. So if you get your hands on the Iron Patriot, just pop his head off and put on the Green Goblin. And that's the thing you'll get in the back, which is the Hammer Files. So Mary Jane Watson, she comes in this nice little case. She comes with actually, I'll come back to this, but let me just give you a quick run around back here. Mary Jane Watson is Spider-Man's love interest and all the lore of Spider-Man. Remember that Spider-Man has multiple stories, and I think Marvel's scheme throughout the years is to create so many versions of one story. It creates a mythos, so key things become very important to Spider-Man's storyline. One of the most important things about Spider-Man's storyline is he gets bitten by a radioactive spider. No matter what Spider-Man you look at, that's the catalyst to making Spider-Man. The next one is letting his uncle get killed. Whether he was in a wrestling match or a fighting match or whatever the case is, that's another part of the mythos. Another part of the mythos is his love interest since high school, since they were little actually, Mary Jane Watson. In the movies, it portrayed a little bit more dramatic, and it was Kirsten Dunst. In the comic books, Mary Jane has ups and downs. She has even dark times. I remember reading the comics, and Mary Jane was talking about doing X-rated movies, and that was a little racy for the issue. This was back in the 90s, so you could just imagine the things that Mary Jane has gone through. But eventually, Mary Jane moves on. She doesn't marry MJ. She doesn't marry Spider-Man in all the comics. Some of them they do. But Spider-Man finds other love interests. In this one, it says that Mary Jane goes to the West Coast and creates a life in theater. But whatever. She is, she comes with a choking hazard, small part, not for children, which is Miss Lion. Apart from an accessory, she's got the Fury Files, or the Hammer Files, and a stand. But interesting thing about Miss Lion, and the I Love Spider-Man shirt. The interesting thing about Miss Lion is that Miss Lion is not part of the comic books for Mary Jane. She has nothing to do with Mary Jane. This is a 2-part review, and the reason I wanted to do it this way is because Mary Jane's boring. You aren't going to search YouTube or look at my reviews and say, Mary Jane is what I'm looking for. This is what you guys are going to be looking for. Okay? You guys are going to be looking for Spider-Man and his amazing friends. Mary Jane goes along with it because Miss Lion, the little dog right here, belongs to Firestar. Or her alias, her secret identity, which is Angelica Jones. Now, this was released, I believe, in '09, part of Toys R Us's exclusive lineup. This is one of my first exclusive items that I'm opening up. I was debating or not whether I wanted to open it, but you know, figures don't belong in boxes. This is something I've come to learn because they're fun to pose. You know, they're fun to play with, and they're great to look at. And figures just in boxes just look like, you know, like material at a store. And the whole idea in the store is to sell the item. And when you look them out of the boxes, they're pretty cool. I mean, I've talked about how much I love the articulation Hasbro gives these figures, although I'm disappointed in all the hips of these characters, but beggars can't be choosers. If you see down here, there's also the Henchman, which gives you the Hand Ninja, the Shield Agent, and the Hydra Soldier. And there's one more, which was the, I believe it was like classic Marvel Heroes, which was classic Daredevil, Fusion Armor, Iron Man, and a variant of the Silver Surfer. As you can see, Nick Fury's on the back. This is a Shield case, and because it was back in '09, gives you the 70 years of Marvel Comics. And I didn't collect at this time. I obviously found this online. I didn't get it at Toys R Us. Had I, you know, I probably would have saved some money. Actually, no, I didn't. I paid pretty much retail for the box, so I'm not crying about that. A couple things about this review and why I'm doing it and why I'm finishing off my Spider-Man, because again, I'm going to get the Shocker, I'm going to get Kraven eventually, and I'm going to get Electro. Electro is probably going to be the next one on my list. Shocker will be the second. Kraven, I can't control that. That's going to come out in 2012, so whenever he comes out, I'll do another review, and of course Future Foundation Spider-Man, but that's going to be part of my Marvel Universe Fantastic Four reviews. Well, cool thing about, you have Marvel's Firestar. It says Marvel's Firestar because there's a Firestar in the DC universe, and not to be confused with it, she is a mutant. Now, if you watch Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends when you were, you know, kids back in the '80s, the theme music was cool. The figures were cool. I mean, the characters were cool. Spider-Man, you know, Peter Parker was an average Joe. Still was the mythos of being a photographer for the Daily Bugle, and then you had Bobby Drake, Iceman. Now, Iceman is a cool figure. The cool thing about Iceman is there's 3 figures of Iceman in the Marvel Universe. One from the Wolverine's Origins, this one, and then there's a new one that just came out. And this is Marvel Universe's Iceman. So they didn't take the Wolverine Origins one, which if I can find, real quick to show you. Here it is. This is the other Iceman. So there are 3 completely different figures. This one came out first, which everyone says this is the definitive Iceman, but he's got that weird stubby neck, and the cool thing about him, he comes with that cool ice beam, and it looks like his joints are also a little bit more put together. This one, just like the one in the Amazing Friends, has the same buck as Spider-Man in Silver Surfer, so you suffer in the hips. But yeah, this is done in 2011. I just got Bobby Drake, and of course I've already had this one, which I got not too long ago, also online. And you know, I'm going to be doing reviews, but what's cool about these figures now that I'm doing reviews on is that this is going to lead me into the X-Men. I took a little while to decide what I was going to transition into, and I'm going to go ahead and go into the X-Men. X-Men is a long lineup. Everything's mutant this, mutant that, Sentinel this, Sentinel that. And there's a lot of items that I got my hands on, and I can't wait to go over it. But without further ado, let's get these puppies open. First up is Mary Jane Watson. Now the cool thing about Mary Jane Watson, and I'm gonna go over this down the line. I mentioned that she comes with this line, right? But the cool thing about Mary Jane Watson, obviously, she's got her stand here. She shares the buck with all the females, so she's got really ball jointed shoulder, a hinged elbow, and an articulated wrist. Has double jointed knee, swivel ankle, and of course has these female buck thighs. And of course it has three-way torso movement up top and on the waist. So, and she's got boobs, so that's cool. She also has a ball jointed head, but her hair kind of lets it keeps it from moving around. So Mary Jane, just like the other earlier Marvel Universe women figures, has the same articulation. There's nothing different about her. Okay, what's cool is Miss Lion. Now Miss Lion is going to be part of a series of animals that are coming out in different Marvel Universe packages. I think they're called the Pet Avengers, where you've got Thor the Frog who leads them, because Thor gets turned into a frog by Loki, and then you've got Lockjaw from the Inhumans. Spider-Man's Amazing Friends. First up is Firestar. And I've already done Miss Mary Jane, and she's got the same exact articulation. So she's got the waist, she's got the upper torso, ball jointed head, but her hair doesn't let her move much. And of course there is the single jointed elbow, which is extreme. Oh shit, it's backwards. Never mind, I could have broke it. Single jointed elbows, and of course double jointed knees. So let's pose her. Let's treat her right because she's a lady. So you've got the girls over here. The articulation on it, because you guys seen it before. I'll do it to death. But there is the Amazing Friends: Bobby Drake, Peter Parker, and Angelica Houston. What's her name again? Angelica Jones. Now Angelica Jones is part of the New Warriors, and you know, I don't want to say I know much about the New Warriors other than that they were a group of younger hero versions of current heroes. Like there was Namor and Namorad. There was I can't see. Yeah, that's the problem. I don't know everybody there, but there was a lot of characters that came from somewhere else and weren't given the opportunity or a shot. And mutants like her found their shot in the New Warriors, and they earned respect from everyone else. Spider-Man, of course, is flying solo. Sometimes he joins the Avengers. Sometimes he does the Fantastic Four. And, of course, Bobby Drake, Iceman. Ice Beam, Arctic Attack is part of the X-Men lineup. And, of course, Mary Jane is probably dating some whack job when she's not dating Spider-Man. She loves the weirdos. But here you go. Like I said, I was really happy to do this review. I'm glad I finally got this over with. And I want to thank everybody for, tuning in and subscribing. And there will be more. And hopefully everything that you guys have seen so far is something that you guys can appreciate, something you guys can take home and enjoy. But, keep subscribing, keep giving me the comments. I love it. I love to hear feedback, good or bad. And let me know if you guys, what you think of my collection. So far, like I said, I reviewed a lot of characters. And I'm moving on to the X-Men. So, no more of that Spider-Man theme music for you guys, but I'm X-Men bound. So, keep tuning in, keep subscribing. Sakio Castro, trying to give you all the figures and all, most bang for your buck. And I'm still collecting and I'm still going on. So, see you later. Peace!
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, bud, he's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there goes the Spider-Man.